a century later. Every generation faces special challenges. The story of America is filled with the chapters of how young people stepped up to these challenges, how they chose change over the status quo.
The 55th annual commencement exercises of Mitchell College officially are in session. Will the audience remain standing and join in the singing of the national anthem, which will be led by Nathan Condi and Megan Davis, class of 1999. Please remain standing for the invocation, which will be given by Reverend William Gregg, pastor of St. James Episcopal Church, New London.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glove, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let us pray. Most gracious God, who has brought us to this day, we give you thanks for the gift of mind and learning and teaching. We praise you for making yourself known in us and through us in the process of seeking skills and knowledge that open for us more and more the wonder and mystery of creation and ourselves. We delight in our achievements, especially those we celebrate this day. We thank you for the opportunities that you have given us as administrators, staff, faculty, and students in our living, working, playing, and learning together. Gracious God, we also thank and praise you for the challenges and tests you have given us that have stretched us and opened us to a deeper sense of self, others, and the world. And we thank you for being present in those moments of trial or frustration. And so you have brought us to this day, and we call down upon this college, its students, faculty, administrators, and staff, your blessing, your ongoing presence, and your love. Open for them always the wide horizon of possibilities for living, learning, and growing. Be especially present here this day as we mark the completion of a chapter in the lives of these students. Give them delight in their accomplishments and hope in their future. Bless their parents and all who have raised them, nurtured them, prodded, poked, cajoled, and encouraged them into the men and women who will graduate this day. Be present, O loving God, and fill this occasion and this day with light and life and joy. Amen.
You may be seated. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Mary Ellen Jacoski, President of Mitchell College, who will deliver the presidential address. President Jacoski.
Good morning. Wow. Chairman Brissett, Reverend Jackson, members of the Platform Party, members of the Board of Trustees, President Emeritus Robert Weller, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, parents, families, and friends of the graduates, and most especially the Mitchell College class of 1999. Greetings on this glorious day. It is a special joy and an honor for me to welcome all of you to this 55th Mitchell College Commencement celebration. Today is an historic event. Members of the class of 1999, you are the last class of students to graduate from Mitchell College in this century. A century that has been unparalleled in terms of the discoveries, inventions, and achievements humankind has produced. The last 20 years of the 19th century saw the creation of so many inventions that modernized our daily lives that historians writing at the beginning of the 20th century did not think they could be surpassed. They included the telephone, the telegraph, the sewing machine, the adding machine, the phonograph, railroads, cameras, and the movie projector. But indeed they have. You are a generation that has benefited from the imaginative ideas that became reality in this century and which are a normal part of your everyday life, from eating frozen foods cooked in a microwave, watching TV with a remote and selecting from hundreds of channels, living in air-conditioned homes, driving cars with computerized control systems, listening to compact discs, flying in jets, and wearing contact lenses and synthetic fabrics, to mention just a few. This century has seen discovery in the biological and physical sciences, knowledge regarding the electron, the nature of matter, the theory of relativity have advanced the science of physics. The science of ecology became a recognized field of study in this century. The theory of plate tectonics was like rediscovering the Rosetta Stone because it provided a way for geologists to interpret the concept of evolutionary changes in solid land masses and the distribution of animals. The discovery of penicillin, the polio vaccine, and other antibiotics, along with advances in DNA, genetics, cloning, and chromosome mapping, are revolutionizing the field of medicine. In the 19th century, the railroad opened up the exploration of the West. In the 20th century, we landed a man on the moon, which opened up space for exploration and study. Today, the internet is the super information highway we all travel on a daily basis. These advances and inventions demonstrate what Albert Einstein vehemently believed, that imagination is more important than knowledge. The advances in technology, personal computers, the World Wide Web, numerous satellites, along with the Hubble telescope, are transforming the world of knowledge and information available to us. We now live in a world that is immediate, it is ever-changing, ever-evolving. There is a knowledge explosion occurring. It is estimated that human knowledge doubles every 11 months. And now we are on the threshold of the 21st century. What innovations will it present to us? As graduates of Mitchell College, I firmly believe that you are fully prepared to enter this next century as active participants. The combination of educational experiences, extracurricular activities, and involvement in volunteer projects at the college and in the community have given you the knowledge base to help you in the world of tomorrow, to explore new experiences, gain new understandings, and assume new leadership positions. I am confident that Mitchell College has helped you to know who you are, what you enjoy, and what you excel in, so that your transition to your next college or to the world of work will go smoothly. It is my hope that the education that you have received at Mitchell College will lead you to investigate new opportunities, take risks to explore new challenges, and to take responsibility for the process of improving our ever-changing society. Use your experiences at Mitchell as the foundation for a lifetime of growing, learning, and loving. Continue to care and build friendships in the communities in which you live, work, and study. As inventors of your own futures, may you go forth with a belief in your potential to be successful in whatever endeavor you choose. And always remember, as Picasso said, anything you can imagine is real. You will soon be Mitchell College's class of 1999. Good luck as you continue your educational journey. It's going to be hard work. There will be obstacles to be overcome and achievements to be celebrated, like the one we are witnessing today. The world of tomorrow will require you to be creative problem solvers, to be cooperative and collaborative team workers, to be imaginative and creative thinkers, and to be master craftsmen using the technical skills computers afford us. To paraphrase from the words once written by our distinguished commencement speaker, Reverend Jesse Jackson, sir. In his book, Straight from the Heart, exercise your right to dream. You must face reality, that which is. But then dream the reality that ought to be, that must be. Live beyond the pain of reality with the dream of a bright tomorrow. Use hope and imagination as weapons of survival and progress. Use love to motivate you and obligate you to serve the human family. I charge each of you to go forth and do your very best in the precious, brief time each of you is blessed with. May you always remember what your educational experience at Mitchell has helped you to become. May you come to appreciate the virtue of perseverance in achieving academically, succeeding personally, and growing professionally as you journey on the road of learning and loving. You are not a cookie-cutter class. Just as each of you is unique, as a class, you are also unique. On behalf of the Mitchell College community, we all stand together jointly and salute you here today. Go forth, do us proud now as Mitchell alumni, knowing that you have much to offer the world in this next century. As John Gardner once wrote, a nation is never finished. You can't build it and leave it standing as the pharaohs did the pyramids. It has to be built and rebuilt. It has to be recreated in each generation by believing, caring men and women. It is now your turn. If you don't believe or don't care, nothing can save the nations. If you believe and care, nothing can stop you. Congratulations to each and every one of you.
Thank you, Dr. Joukowsky. Madam President, on behalf of the Board of Trustees and the faculty, I present Reverend Jesse L. Jackson, Sr., founder of the Rainbow Push Coalition, for the degree Doctor of Laws honoris causa. The citation will be read by Dr. Paul Swan. Mr. Elwin Brissett, Chairman, Mitchell College Board of Trustees, will present the hood. Dr. Swan.
Good morning. The class of 1999 and the Mitchell College community are excited to welcome Reverend Jesse L. Jackson, Sr. to our campus for the 55th Commencement Address Speaker. Reverend Jackson, President and founder of the Rainbow Push Coalition, is one of America's foremost political figures. Over the past 30 years, he has played a pivotal role in virtually every movement for empowerment, peace, civil rights, gender equity, economics, and social justice. Born on October 8, 1941 in Greenville, South Carolina, Jesse Jackson attended the University of Illinois on a football scholarship and later transferred to North Carolina A&T State University, our university today. He attended the Chicago Theological Seminary until he joined the Civil Rights Movement full-time in 1965. He began his activism as a student leader in sit-in movement and continued as a young organizer for the Southern Christian Leadership Conference as an assistant to Martin Luther King, Jr. He went on to direct the Operation Breadbasket and subsequently founded the People United to Save Humanity, the PUSH organization in Chicago, Illinois in 1971. Reverend Jackson's two presidential campaigns broke new ground in U.S. politics. His 1984 campaign won 3.5 million votes, registered over 1 million new voters, and helped the Democratic Party to regain control of the Senate in 1986. In 1988, candidacy won a million votes and registered 2 million new voters. As a respected world leader, Reverend Jackson has acted many times as an international diplomat in sensitive situations. In 1984, Jackson secured the release of captive Native Lieutenant Robert Goodman from Syria and the release of 48 Cuban and Cuban-American prisoners. He was the first American to bring hostages out of Kuwait and Iraq in 1990. Just recently, Reverend Jackson led a multiracial, multi-religious delegation to secure the release of 3 American soldiers who had been held in captivity by... to secure the release of 3 American soldiers who had been held in captivity by the Yugoslavian authorities for more than a month. In an impressive 1990 victory, Reverend Jackson was elected to the post of U.S. Senator for Washington, D.C., a position known as the statehood senator. A hallmark of Reverend Jackson's work has been his commitment to youth. He has visited thousands of high schools, colleges, universities, correctional facilities, encouraging excellence, inspiring hope, and challenging young people to award themselves with academic excellence and to stay drug-free. As a renowned orator, Reverend Jackson has received numerous honors for his work in human and civil rights and for nonviolent social change. In 1991, the U.S. Post Office put his likeness on a pictorial postal cancellation, only the second living person to receive such an honor. He has been on the Gallup list of the 10 most respected Americans for the past 10 years. He has also received prestigious NAACP Spin Gown Award, among many honors from coast to coast. He had authored 2 books, Keep Hope Alive in 1989 and Straight from His Heart in 1987. In 1996, Reverend Jackson co-authored a book, Legal Lynching of Racism, Injustice, Death Penalty, and with his son, U.S. Representative Jesse L. Jackson, Jr. In October 1997, Reverend Jackson was appointed by President Clinton and Secretary of State Madeleine Albright as the Special Envoy to the President and Secretary of State for the Promotion of Democracy in Africa. As Special Envoy, Reverend Jackson traveled to Kenya and Zambia in November 1997. He met with His Excellency Daniel T. Arap Moi of Kenya and the President Frederick J.T. Chilabou of Zambia during his trip. Reverend Jackson married his college sweetheart, Jacqueline Lavinia Brown, in 1963. Together they raised 5 children and lived in Chicago. Mitchell College bestows an extraordinary honor upon itself this 15th day of May, 1999, as it confers the Doctor of Laws degree on the Reverend Jesse L. Jackson, Sr.
My thanks to God for this privilege and high honor to be with you today. In some ways, it's difficult to express. When I was a freshman in college and a friend, and Dr. Paul Swan was the top quarterback in the South and led our college to 2 championships. We were going around from class to class and eating late-night ball sweats to hamburgers. It's a long ways from those days to his being here today as a doctor, as a leader. He approached me about coming here. I was delighted at the invitation, but my schedule has become so overwhelmed with events. But Paul leaned heavily. And he knows my wife, he knows the family, he knows my friends, he knows my mother. Thank you, Paul. Madam President, for your work and for your reputation, for all that you mean to this great institution, you who attend this institution under her sterling leadership must not allow familiarity to breed you into contempt or take her for granted. She is one of the outstanding educators of our nation today. Give her a big hand, will you please? Give her a big hand. Give her a big hand. Yeah. Now, all graduates, give your parents a big hand. Give them a big hand. And big one for your parents. And parents, give your students a big hand. Give them a big hand. To all those who did not graduate today and you were supposed to, we know you were just holding out the year 2000. I extend my heartfelt congratulations to all of you who are in attendance today, to the students who have learned and persevered, to the parents who have sacrificed to the grandparents who built the foundation on which this great day stands, to the teachers who imparted so much wisdom, and to administrators, well, whatever y'all do. I congratulate all of you on this auspicious occasion. For those of you who are graduating, today may be the end of college. Whoever named these assemblies got it right. Today is the commencement of your journey through life. During that journey, you will be required to make choices. It won't be your parents' choices anymore. It won't be your roommates' choices. It'll be your choices and yours alone. And those choices will have consequences, consequences which you cannot hide. Indeed, there exists a moral obligation to make choices, to stand on your own feet, and that obligation begins today. These choices extend beyond the realm of private gain and personal gratification. They extend into the world of public policy. You see, today you emerge from the cocoon that college represents. You are now citizens of the world, of a nation, of a community, and you share responsibility with your fellow citizens for the way that world, that nation, and that community works. And so while our selfish impulses might tell us that nothing much matters that exists beyond our own noses, the better angels of our nature cause us to seek to build a better nation, to create a world that is more secure for all of us who live in it. We close a century of struggles and scars and battles with a century of victories. We are a better nation a century later. Every generation faces special challenges. The story of America is filled with the chapters of how young people stepped up to these challenges, how they chose change over the status quo, how they would not rest until that change was realized. Past generations of people no older than you are today did remarkable things. They fought World War II to combat Nazism, to preserve freedom and democracy. They fought a civil war to end slavery. They provided a big part of the energy and idealism that fueled the civil rights movement. The end of legal segregation, the establishment of a universal right to vote, and the birth of universal access to public education did not happen by accident. They happened because past generations, at the moment of truth, were willing to stand up and be counted. Young America came alive and chose hope over dope, life over death, and futures over funerals. They happened because young people put themselves on the line, sometimes even risking their lives for the conception of the public good. Our nation must rely on the young because it is so easy for those of us who are a little older to get stuck in the mud and stand still, recycling our pain, weighed down by our memories, our bruises, and our defeats. But you must go forward by hopes and dreams, not backwards by fears and memories. You must move a nation forward by the power of dreaming and hoping. It is the hopes and dreams of the young to propel our nation in the right direction. And so what are the special challenges, the special public challenges, the special moral challenges by which your generation will be judged? Permit me to suggest just a few. First and foremost, the enormous run-up in wealth that our nation has enjoyed over the course of the past 7 years must be broadly shared. The moral imperative of this day actually is the moral imperative of your day. Leave no American behind. The Marines have it right. There's no honor on the field of battle for those who save themselves at the expense of their fallen countrymen, bury the dead, save the wounded. That's the way of the Marines. As it is in war, so should it be in times of peace. There is no honor for a nation that leaves so many countrymen behind, economically, especially when the overall performance of the economy is so strong. This is precisely such a time when our wealth is at its greatest, that the shame associated with such an unfair distribution of our wealth is most pronounced. Let us save the wounded who live in our nation. Let us leave no American behind. We've been preoccupied as a nation for all too long with the race gap, the East-West gap. The far greater gap that our nation must confront is the structural gap, the resource gap, gaps that affect Americans of all stripes and colors and ethnicities. It's the North-South gap that matters most of all. These structural gaps affect white folks who live in Appalachia, as they do blacks who live on the west side of Chicago, or New Haven, or Hartford. They affect the white folks who live in struggling small towns throughout our nation's heartland, as sure as the brown folks who live in the south of Texas. Most poor people in America today, most poor people are not black or brown. They're white, female, young, invisible, and unrepresented. Most poor people are not on welfare. They work every day. They catch the early bus. They sweep the floors. They cook food at this school. They cut the grass. They plant the flowers. They clean your dormitories. They work in fast food restaurants. They work in hospitals as orderlies. When we're sick, they wipe down our scorching bodies with alcohol and cool our fevers, empty our diseased slop jars, bedpans. No job is beneath them, and yet when they get sick, they cannot afford to lie in the bed they make up every night. We must choose the North-South divide and leave no American behind. The great American dream is not ultimately about degrees. It's good to have them. It's about money, good to have it. It's about character. The great American character is expressed by, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses who yearn to breathe free. Not based upon degrees or wealth or class, but to yearn to breathe free, yearning, the will to be. This is the price of admission to the great American tent. 50 million Americans go to bed every day without health insurance every night. Just one serious illness or accident a dent away from financial ruin. That's not right. 1,500 Americans die every day from cancer. We possess the resources to boost research in cancer as we know it, but we fail to do so. This is not right. In our nation's coal fields, a person dies every 6 hours from black lung disease. We fail to do all that we can. This is not right. We're increasingly becoming a nation of first-class jails and second-class schools. Most rural and urban schools are not wired for the internet, but all of the jails are. This jail-for-profit industry is becoming a source of international shame and disgrace. The 2 million Americans in jail, 500,000 more than in China, and they're 25% of the world's population. We're a mere 6%. Of those in the jails, those left behind, your early classmates, 90% of high school dropouts, 92% are functionally illiterate, the 76% recidivist rate. The poor and the unlearned are becoming fodder for the growth of the jail industrial complex. This is not right. We are a nation in the midst of such extraordinary wealth. 1 in 5 of its children grow up in poverty. That's not right. We've shown the capacity to respond to the urgent appeals of the nations around the world to help close their resource gaps. We set up a Polish-American Development Bank. We offered the Polish allies 40-year loans, 0.75% first payment due in 10 years, called concessionary rate loans. The same for Ukraine, the Development Bank in South Africa. We've done this and more, but the vision we seem to possess in international settings does not apply at home. There is no domestic equivalent to OPIC, the Overseas Private Investment Corporation, a federal agency that guarantees American venture capital invested abroad. I say America's emerging markets deserve a chance to grow. Let's bring Wall Street to Appalachia, to Harlem, the Mississippi Delta, to Bridgeport, to Hartford, to New Haven. Let's make the dream of entrepreneurship a dream for all Americans. Leave no American behind. Yes, we must close the race gap. Problems associated with race continue to scourge and prevent America from fulfilling its essential promise as a nation. But we could close the race gap entirely, and still huge structural gaps would persist. Race walls, like religious walls, limit our potential and our market growth. Inclusion must extend beyond athletic teams. Inclusion is the key to growth at every level of human endeavor. Yet if we were to launch an all-out assault to close the resource gaps, to close the north-south gaps, I'm certain that many of these issues that are now reviewed through the prism of race will disappear in a hurry. The central challenge for your generation is to close this north-south gap, to bridge the ever-widening chasm between haves and have-nots, the surplus culture and the deficit culture. If not now, when? We are a rich nation, much richer than a decade ago. We enjoy a large federal surplus, though unattainable only several years ago. Till recently, we could build on the special strengths of a peacetime economy. But now we're facing an expanding war, a completely unanticipated war that threatens to cut short this unique moment of opportunity. What does New London have to do with the war of Mitchell College? You are paying for it with your money. And if we are not successful, you'll pay for it with your lives. It's your war, and it must be your concern. This war has already taken a significant chunk of the federal budget surplus. Soon, it will cut into Social Security, educational funding, ultimately, economic performance, since an increasingly unstable world cannot be viewed as anything other than an economic threat. The lives that are affected by the war cannot be limited to the geographic region of the war zone. The longer it goes on, the more clearly the cause of our intervention will be felt here at home. Well, I'm not prepared to say that we have reached this point yet. There may be a time soon, not too distant, when the conduct of this war may present a moment of special moral challenge to this generation. In the same way that the Vietnam War presented a moment of challenge to its generation. I have a growing concern about this war. Let me assure you that they have not emerged from naivete, as some critics suggest. They criticize our going to Yugoslavia. I'm glad we brought the boys home. Someone say, why would you talk to a tyrant like Milosevic in Yugoslavia? Or some would say Castro in Cuba, or Saddam Hussein in Iraq, or Assad in Syria. I talked to them because they had the keys to the jail where Americans were. Moses should not have a no-talk policy toward Pharaoh. and he could not get people out by sending Pharaoh a fax or an email. He had to challenge Pharaoh directly. Someone said, but Reverend Jackson said, you prayed with Milosevic because I believe there's nothing too hard for God. We ask God to harden not the heart of Pharaoh and let our people go. Milosevic's practice of ethnic cleansing is reprehensible and barbaric. It's a crime against humanity. How can anyone with a heart of conscience not be moved to tears and action by the plight, of course, of our refugees? Therefore, I do not question our nation's intent when it comes to why we intervened in Yugoslavia. Our purpose was moral and clear. But good intentions alone do not suffice when it comes to the conduct of foreign policy. Good intentions that are not matched by good strategy yield unintended consequences. The law of unintended consequences is in full force right now in Yugoslavia, and unfortunately is quickly spreading to other spots around the globe. We thought the bombing would last 7 days. 7 days have turned into 54 days with no end in sight. Unintended consequences. We thought the bombing would halt the flow of refugees. It has done no such thing. In fact, may have exacerbated the refugee problem and its attendant human suffering. Unintended consequences. We thought that the bombing would increase internal resistance to Milosevic. It has strengthened the resolve of the Serbs and solidified Milosevic's political base. Unintended consequences. We thought our smart bombs could avoid collateral damage. I detest that bloodless term, civilian deaths. But the inevitable result of a bombing campaign like this one, over 500 people who did not vote for Milosevic are dead, and 4,000 injured. Another unintended consequence. We thought we could end the war in a way that circumvented action or debate by the United Nations, thereby avoiding the need to deal with Russia or China at the onset of the bombing. Now we find that we need the United Nations. We must deal with both Russia and China. With their bargaining position enhanced, Russia and China may now force unhealthy compromises upon us. Unintended consequences. As the prolonged duration of the war reveals defects in the planning of this mission, the misguided missiles are carrying us ever closer to long-term geopolitical strategic problems, more unintended consequences. One thing is clear, the NATO bombing campaign has not achieved its stated goals. I believe it's time to give diplomacy a chance. Let us substitute our current strategy of bombing and more bombing with a strategy of bombing and negotiation. Indeed, the bombing was conceived as the means to achieve a negotiated settlement. Now some seem to be suggesting that the bombing can serve as an end in itself, resulting in capitulation by the Serbs, despite any evidence to support this claim. Our diplomatic efforts should be as strong, perhaps stronger than our military thrust. We can pause bombing, as an increasing course of allies are requesting, without a pause in our commitment to stop the genocide and ethnic cleansing in Kosovo. Our power lies in our will to stop the violence in Kosovo, to remove Serbian troops, to return refugees, establish a multinational peacekeeping force. We have the power to fight. We must have the strength to negotiate. Seize the opportunities to negotiate when they present themselves. We must not equate tactics with purpose. Our purpose is pure. Our tactics are not yielding the results. They're taking us beyond the boundaries of our original projection of this challenge. Though our purpose remains morally sound and just, the flawed execution of this action is eroding our moral authority. I'm not arguing for a moment that America should withdraw from international responsibilities and obligations. We cannot be both global leaders and isolationists. And I'm not urging and arguing that the exercise of military might is always wrong. There are morally just wars, and I've said the rationale for American intervention in Yugoslavia is morally right and clear. What I'm saying is that in a global world where interdependence is so great, war anywhere is a threat to peace everywhere. Unintended consequences can proliferate in a hurry, as we've seen. An accidental bombing in Belgrade can result in immediate escalation of hostilities across the world and China. All parties to the current conflict would no doubt prefer a cessation of the war under the right circumstances. But peace without honor will find no takers. And so in the absence of an aggressive negotiating strategy, the war will continue indefinitely. It has been said, let's never negotiate out of fear. Never fear to negotiate. It was that spirit, informed by faith, that led me on the mission that secured the release of the American prisoners of war. Our delegation appealed to Milosevic to release the prisoners, that he did not hold them as trophies. Release them unconditionally. When he did so, much of the world viewed this moment as an opportunity to take the next step. NATO was indifferent. The bombing escalated. We might have acted differently. We might have released the 2 POWs under our control. When we are afforded a keyhole toward peace, we should take a look and twist it. It might open the door. The bombing campaign has not attained its goals. Russia, China, and a growing share of public opinion within the borders of NATO allies view bombing pause as a way to jumpstart negotiations. Peace with honor. We could do this without losing our strategic advantage. After all, the bombing could be resumed at any moment. We must not succumb to the arrogance of power or the idolatry of might. In our strength lies our weakness, and our weakness lies our strength. America has 3 principal weapons in its arsenal: missiles, morals, and minds. We must not permit overconfidence in our missiles to close our minds and undercut our moral authority. You see, class of 99, war is easier than peace. War is one-sided. It can be waged unilaterally. Peace requires 2 sides. It requires reconciliation. It requires that all players come to the table. Peace involves reconciliation, building bridges of trust. We must be prepared to build such a peace even as we wage a war. So I call on this class to always be ready to do the more difficult thing: walk boldly and do justice. The sworn enemy of those who would do justice is cynicism, the collapse of faith. To combat cynicism, you must rely on the true characteristics of youth: idealism, optimism, enthusiasm, and courage. It's easy to be a cynic. It's far more difficult to act in faith. No matter what your circumstance may have been, you have the ability to dream and aspire beyond your historical circumstances and make your family and the next generation better. Let nothing and nobody break your spirit. Jesus was born in the slum. The slum was not born in him. He heard a higher voice and marched to the beat of a different drummer. It's easy to express pessimism. It's difficult to maintain optimism in the face of critics. It's easy to be cool and laid back, a kind of social parasite, to reap everything and risk nothing. It's difficult to stand in favor of an unpopular idea. Rescuing 3 American soldiers, 3 youths in Yugoslavia was a risky, unpopular idea prior to its success. The critics are still confounded, but the boys are home. I recall reading this scripture, John 9, many years ago, and I didn't quite understand it then. But Jesus did a remarkable thing one Sunday. A man blinded at birth came to him, and he gave him sight. A marvelous miracle. You would have thought that headlines, Jesus miracle maker, blind man sees first time. What next for the career of Jesus? The politicians asked the question, say, well, he can see, but by what authority did you give him sight? After all, you are not a lawyer. You are not an ophthalmologist. You have not been trained. We didn't give you a license. By what authority did you let the blind man see? The media, the scribes, asked it another way. Well, so we can see, why did you have to do it on Sunday? In the meantime, the blind man was going on down the street. They finally caught up with him. He said, well, how did Jesus look? He said, I don't know, I was blind. For his politics, I don't know very much about him. So all I really know is, I once was blind, and now I see. You must have the courage of your convictions. My preoccupation is this. My preoccupation, what is my agenda? I want to help rescue America's youth from the margins of life. I want to help rescue America's youth from dropping out of school, from teen pregnancy, from making babies you can't raise, from drug consumption, from easy access to guns, from mass media addiction, from the use of violence as a method of resolving conflict, whether in Colorado, Mississippi, Riverside, California, or Jasper, Texas. I want to rescue youth in states like New York and California where the jail budget exceeds the higher education budget. Great things are not achieved by cynics. They're achieved by believers. Pessimism is for the faint of heart. The doers, the leaders will always be the optimists. You must have the courage of your conviction, a dignity level that is non-negotiable. That's what gave Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King Jr., Cesar Chavez, Lake Lester, Bobby Kennedy. That's what makes their lives worth emulating in the face of material temptation, in the face of a threat to life or career. Your dignity must be non-negotiable. Beyond color and culture is character. A high plateau. Color, you inherit color. You did nothing to earn it. Culture, you did nothing to earn it. But you must earn the high plateau of character. Rodney King, a black motorist, was beaten nearly to death by 4 racist white police. You must not assume all whites are racist on that basis, because there was a white photographer who found the beating to be repugnant, immoral, illegal, exposed it, risked his own life. That white photographer, Rodney King was the victim, not the hero. It was the white photographer, George Halliday. Some mother's lesson, some father's admonition, some preacher's sermon about what was right and fair gripped him. He risked his own life to do that which was right. Beyond color and culture is something called character. Like the Good Samaritan lifting the beaten man on the Jericho road. The Good Samaritan was of another race. He was of another religion, from another country, spoke another language, didn't even have a green card. But beyond color and culture is something called character. When the 4 white police were released without a conviction, 4 young blacks snatched an innocent white truck driver from his truck, Reginald Denny, and tried to beat him nearly to death. Unless you think all young blacks are out of control, bitter, the deficit of compassion, 4 young blacks saw the beating taking place on live television, left their individual homes without prior communication, rushed to his rescue and saved him from them, carried him to a hospital where one of the black affirmative action doctors performed surgery and saved his life. Beyond color, beyond culture, the high plateau of character. And so remain faithful, remain optimistic, remain enthusiastic, keep a bright outlook. The Lord is our salvation, the Lord is our light and our salvation. Whom shall we fear? Keep hope alive. Fight the good fight. Mitchell, keep hope alive. God bless you.
First Trustees Award for academic achievement. A certificate and a sum of money are given annually by the Board of Trustees to a senior who has the highest academic standing in the graduating class. It is with great pleasure that I present the Board of Trustees Award for academic achievement to a graduate who has earned a quality point average 4.0, Kirsten S. Weicher-Bonin. As soon as we can find it, the certificate will read as follows. Mitchell College Board of Trustees Award for Academic Achievement for Scholastic Attainment in maintaining the highest academic standing in the class of 1999. Kristen, they'll get it to you. Okay.
There is a plaque that goes to you.
Kirsten, we will have a plaque for you, I can guarantee it. Thank you. The second award we will present today is the Faculty of Mitchell College Award for Academic Achievement. A certificate and a sum of money is given annually by the faculty of Mitchell College to the graduating senior who ranks second in academic standing in the class. This year's award is presented to a graduate who has earned a quality point average of 3.95. The graduate is Michelle Morales. Her certificate will read as follows. Mitchell College Faculty Award of Academic Achievement for singular scholastic attainment in maintaining the second highest academic standing in the class of 1999. Each year, Mitchell College honors a person who demonstrates distinguished service to the college and the community. This year, the award is presented to Steve Percy, Vice Chair of the Board of Trustees. I would ask Steve to come to the podium while I read the citation. Steve Percy is Vice Chairman of the Board of Trustees for Mitchell College and has been a trustee since 1989. He serves on the Executive Committee and the Committee on College Relations and Trustees. A broker with the New England Real Estate Group in New London, Mr. Percy received his BA from Yale University. As a principal of Soundview Associates from 1984 to present, he has been personally involved in the sale of 14 marinas throughout Connecticut and Rhode Island. Prior to his work in real estate investments, Mr. Percy boasts a long and successful career, including work with United Technologies, culminating as Vice President, Government and International Programs at Sikorsky Aircraft. His works also includes management with Colt Firearms Division of Colt Industries in Hartford. Prior to 1984, as a representative of Colt Firearms of United Technologies Corporation, Mr. Percy led the marketing, sales, and contract negotiation efforts in the sale of both products and services to commercial organizations and to every level of state, local, and United States government. He was also responsible for international, commercial, and government sales for both corporations throughout the world, including Europe, Africa, the Mideast, Latin America, and the Far East. From 1953 to 1963, Mr. Percy served on active duty as an infantry officer for the United States Marine Corps. In 1953, he transferred to the Marine Corps Reserve and retired as Lieutenant Colonel. In addition to his years of service to Mitchell, Mr. Percy has been an active member of the Board of Directors for Lawrence Memorial Hospital, Chamber of Commerce for Southeastern Connecticut, Community Foundation of Southeastern Connecticut, Eastern Connecticut Symphony Orchestra, and the London Development Corporation. Pequot Chapel as past president, Eugene O'Neill Theater, Eastern Connecticut Transportation Consortium, and has served on 2 charter revision commissions for the town of Waterford. He is an active member of the New London Rotary, where he is a Paul Harris Fellow. In 1998, he received the William Crawford Distinguished Citizens Award from the Chamber of Commerce of Southeastern Connecticut. By unanimous vote, the award was given to Mr. Percy for his dedication and generosity, characteristics that mirror the award's namesake. Steve and his wife Marilyn reside in Waterford, and the Percys enjoy 12 grandchildren. In praise of Mr. Percy's generosity, commitment, and service, Mitchell College bestows upon itself a great honor as it presents its Distinguished Community Service Award to my friend Steve Percy.
Thank you.
Don Slate. Don Slate graduated from Mitchell College in 1948 with his associate's degree. Now in semi-retirement, Don and his wife Evelyn enjoy a family of 4 children and 2 grandsons. A native of New London, Mr. Slate graduated from Berkeley School in 1944. Upon graduation from Mitchell, he spent a short time in the U.S. Navy as a clerical storekeeper at the New London-based Navy Underwater Sound Lab. He was a mail carrier with the U.S. Postal Service in New London for 12 years. In 1960, he gained his long career with MetLife. Today, he continues his work with MetLife on a part-time basis as a special sales agent. Mr. Slate has always had an active role in Mitchell College community. In the 1950s, he was an alumni representative for the Board of Trustees at Mitchell. He co-chaired both the 45th and 50th reunions for the Class of 48. A longtime member of the Friends of Mitchell and Alumni Association, he spearheaded the Class of 48's campaign to raise $48,000 for Mitchell College by the 50th reunion. With his efforts, their goal was exceeded, and a check for over $50,000 was presented to President Jakowski for Mitchell College Annual Fund during homecoming weekend. The monies will be used to renovate the Health Services Cottage. In addition to the Mitchell community, Mr. Slade is dedicated to the community at large. He has been a trustee for the Guthrie Beach Association for 3 years, a member of the Executive Board of MetLife Veterans Association for Connecticut. He is also a life member of Disabled American Veterans. In 1998, he joined the Board of Trustees for Berkeley School, where he does work with the Scholarship Committee. He's also a member of the Berkeley Alumni Association Scholarship Committee. Because of his work at Berkeley School, he enjoys the opportunities when he can refer young people to Mitchell College. Mr. Slade enjoys golfing, gardening, swimming, and traveling. It is with great pride that Mitchell College presents Mr. Donald Slate with the Distinguished Alumni Award. Thank you, sir. Yes, okay. Thank you.
President Jakowski, Board of Trustees, faculty and staff, Reverend Jackson, honored guests, parents, friends, and class of '99. It is with extreme pride and humility that I accept this award. Just a word to the class of '99 who will become alumni shortly. Always have a spark in your heart for this jewel on the Thames, Mitchell College. Good luck and thank you.
for the degrees of Associate of Arts and Associate of Science, please rise. The degrees will be awarded by Dr. Jakowski. Madam President, on behalf of the faculty, I present the candidates for the degree of Associate of Arts, 78 in number, and the candidates for the degree Associate in Science, 87 in number. They have completed the prescribed course of study, and I respectfully recommend that such degrees be conferred upon them.
In accordance with the recommendation of the faculty and by virtue of the power invested in me by the state of Connecticut and by the trustees of Mitchell College, I confer upon the candidates the degree of Associate of Arts and the degree Associate of Science, earned with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining to this degree. And alumni dues too, as Jesse says. As a symbol of the degree conferred, you are now entitled to move the tassel to the left of the motorboard. Congratulations.
Receiving an Associate in Arts with a major in the Liberal Arts are the following: Daniel Ricardo Almeida. Daniel. Yvette Arroyo. Christian Enrique Valarezo. Anthony Gregory Barrett. Terrence Camara Bagani. Dinesh Marie Baldock with honors. And a member of Phi Theta Kappa. Amy K. Brigger. Eric Brousseau. Jenny Lynn Brunel with high honors and Phi Theta Kappa. Taisha Monique Canty. Cheryl Ann Capozzi. Jason William Castagna with honors. Nathan Condi, high honors and Phi Theta Kappa. Megan Elizabeth Davis. Matthew M. Farrow. Christopher M. Fiore with high honors. Eric Lewis Field. Reginald M. Hatchett. I think I can get this. Kimberly Locklear Hodges, high honors, Phi Theta Kappa, and Psi Beta. Adam J. Horowitz. Michael C. Huggins. Alexander Quincy Jones.
Got it.
Reagan Kelly. Monica Lynn Kuklinski. Nicole Lee Kohlberg. Salvatore David Loria. Patrick W. Leonard. Joshua F. Lord. Robin Lynn Malicki. Stephanie Lynn McCann with honors. Brian Patrick McDonough. Mary Elizabeth McKenzie.
Ready, Eric?
Eric Jason McCoy. Robert M. McLaughlin. Novian L. Neal. Christopher C. Noyes. Michael Charles O'Connor. Ready? Hillary B. O'Donoghue. Adetunji Olanrewaju. Joseph F. Orsini with honors. Stephen James Palmer. Alexandra L. Peak. Neil Ryan Pyers. Stacy Gale Schott. Emily Schaefer. Heather Ann Sank. Andrea Janelle Centeo.
Emily Schaefer, right? Elizabeth Savoy.
Elizabeth Savoyan. Elizabeth Savoyan. Jamal Mobley Smith. Thomas J. Slocum. High honors, Phi Theta Kappa.
Out of order. Where's Charles?
Christine L. Sisk with honors. Terry Ann Rose Simpson. Deborah Lee Signs with honors. Charles Solorzano Devereaux. Andrew Harmon Streeter. Kara A. Sullivan. Thomas Ward Tankred. you, Tom. Aaron Jamie Thomas with honors. Jamie Edward Valentine, high honors. Tanya Venturini with honors. Janique Georgia Wakefield with honors. Joshua Allen White. Crystal Charlotte Williams. Mary B. Willis with honors. Amy Sharon Wolf. Scott Gregory Yorton. The following students completed an Associate in Science and Athletic Training. John Robert Bear. Kelly Ann McGuire. Dorothy Pitchford with honors. Degree in Business Administration Accounting. Catherine Adams with honors. Ruth Elsa Huron with high honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Paige Christine Lapari, high honors. Andrea Elaine Mitchell, high honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Sagar K. Pandya, high honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Cheryl Lynn Phillips, high honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Eric Adam Sutter. Kristen M. Walters. William. Degree in Business Administration Management, William Arroyo. Matthew D. Cassidy. Sherry Lynn Daggett with honors. Eric Julian Gagnon. Brett Daniel Garrett. Michael Lamont Johnson, high honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Salvatore P. Kelly. David O. Kylak. Ken Maratsu. Joseph M. Procaccini. Thomas Anthony Rempe, honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Nathaniel R. Scott, high honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Sabrina M. Tanos with honors. Sarah E. Thomas with honors. The degree in Criminal Justice, Jeffrey M. Bergstrom. Heather Joy Bridgman. Ryan Sean Richter Bonin. Highest honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Is that Christina? Christina Marie Ross with honors. Christy Michelle Talardi, high honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Brian J. Reed. This is the other Jesse. Jesse Lee Little. Vanessa L. Harwood, high honors. Caroline Ann Ferenco. Ferenco, got it? Guido Falaveni, Jr. Degree in Early Childhood Education, Jennifer Beth Angelico. Laura Ellen Carmine, high honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Jill Courtney Cutler. Katie Lynn Donovan with honors. Degree in Business Administration Management, Mario A. Zapata. Mario Zapata. Erin Marquette Wilson in Computer Information Systems. Again in Early Childhood Education, Alec Clay Furtick Jr. Meredith Ann Gilbert. Lauren Amy Grodman. Shamika Delane Johnson, high honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Stephanie F. Kane. Lori Mae Larkin. Christine Ann Morrow. Charisse S. Reese with honors. Kimberly Dawn Seacott. Heather Lynn Stewart. Degree in General Studies, Eileen Scalia. Degree in Graphic Design, Ottawa C. Sebastian. Degree in Human Development, Aaron Eugene Baldwin. Degrees in Human Services, Heather Megan Altman. Jeffrey Lawrence Gluckman. Yep. Rhea D. Logan. Patricia Elaine Solu. High honors, Phi Theta Kappa, Psi Beta. Deborah L. Suchimel, honors, Psi Beta. Donna Marie Mook with honors. Nicole Beth Regina, degree in marine science with honors. Rafael Romano with honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Como, right? Jesse Kenneth Como, high honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Degree in physical education, Philip C. Double, high honors, Phi Theta Kappa. In graphic design, Augustus Sebastian Jr. With graphic design, Carly A. McGrew, high honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Jessica Dale Axelrad, high honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Allison Ann Colby, high honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Andrew D. Jones. Michael Andrew McVeigh, degree in physical education. Kathleen Montai. Andrew Nolan Borsowitz. Jeremy C. Bunblowski, honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Justin Lee Duvall. Christopher J. Fry with honors. Brian Donald Furness. Louis Albert Gelfand, honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Eric William LaPointe. Adam Michael Novak. Michael P. Tomalonis with honors. Michelle Lynn Morales, highest honors.
I would like to introduce now Sharice S. Reese, a member of the class of 1999, to deliver the student address.
Thank you. My fellow classmates, this graduation day we have so anxiously awaited is finally upon us. For the past 2 years, we have gained a wealth of knowledge from our instructors and learned from our classmates as well. Mitchell College has given us a sense of unity, and we thank the faculty and staff for guiding us through these 2 years. It is now our time as graduates to demonstrate the knowledge we have gained. As we venture out into the world to pursue our goals and dreams, we will meet many challenges. We will experience new transitions as we leave Mitchell College to continue our studies or to become part of the workforce. Mitchell has been a stepping stone towards our future success. The friendships we have made at Mitchell College will follow us in our lives. Never forget the good times we have shared here at Mitchell. No matter how far apart we are, the memories will never be lost. Always remember to enjoy your life to the fullest. You only get one, so do the things you really want to do. As you journey into the millennium, strive to be the best you can be. Keep your head held high, for there is nothing you can't accomplish.